Welcome back, guys. This is Jason, KM4ACK. So today I wanted to take a look at something that's been requested multiple times, both through email and on the channel, and that is to get Pat Winlink working with 2-meter packet work. So let's jump right into it and see if we can't get that going today. As usual, let's go ahead and open up the terminal window. And let me see about making that type a bit bigger for you. All right, now I already have Pat Winlink installed. If you need help on getting that done, I'll leave a link to that right up at the top. The first thing we're going to do today is get Direwolf installed. So let's make sure we're in our home directory, and then we want to run a git clone command, and this address here, and I'll leave this address down in the description below so that you can copy and paste as well. Let's go ahead and run that command. And once that completes, let's go ahead and move into the Direwolf directory. So cd and Direwolf. And the first command we want to run here is make. And it looks like we have a dependency that we're missing. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this and paste it here. Now, just so you know, go ahead and hit return. Just so you know, I'm running a bone stock Raspberry Pi with Raspbian Stretch installed. So I'll see all of the same errors that you guys might run into, like this missing dependency for Direwolf here. So kind of makes it helpful. All right, now that that's done, let's try that make command again. And it looks like here it's going to go ahead and run. Hey, now's a good time to click the thumbs up button down below, hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and click on the bell so you get notified of future videos coming out like this. All right, and now that that's finished up, it tells us right here to run sudo make install. So that will be our next command. And then we need to do a make install -conf. All right, and finally, if you choose, you can go ahead and run this last command. I typically skip this, but it'll put a Direwolf shortcut, I believe, on your desktop. Let's go ahead and clear the screen, though. All right, so the next command we need to run is sudo apt-get install ax25-tools. All right, and once that's completed, we need to go make one change to a configuration file. So sudo nano /etc/ax25/axports. And right here, we want to come down to this bottom line. Make sure you don't leave any spaces in here, but right below the bottom line. And let's type exactly WL2K space. You will give it your call sign here. Of course, I'm giving it mine. Space 1200, space 255, space 7, space Winlink. And to get out of this, we want to press Control X, Y to save it, and enter to get completely out. All right, let's get another thing installed here. Let's do sudo apt-get install ax25-apps. Okay, it looks like I think we've got everything installed that we need. So let's go back to our home directory, list that out, and we should see the direwolf.conf file. All right, so we need to grab some information about our sound card. So let's run a record -l. And that's going to list out our sound card devices. Now, usually I'm running the Signal Link, but in this particular case, I'm running another sound card, but it works just like the Signal Link does. So you can see here we're at card 1, device 0. Those two numbers you're going to need when we go in and edit the Direwolf comp file. So let's go ahead and do that now with sudo nano direwolf.conf. And let's start scrolling down the page. All right, and right here says a device plug HW colon 1, 0. Now this 1 and 0 is the information we just got when we ran the arecord-l. So I'm going to uncomment this line by removing the first symbol there on the beginning. And if your sound card is different, you would need to change this here as well. Let's continue on down the page. And I'm looking for this line here, and let's replace my call instead of no call. Obviously, give it your own call sign. All right, and I've got to make one more change because I'm using a different PTT since I'm not using the Signal Link this time. So I'm going to go down here and make one more change here. Now, this is very dependent on your radio and kind of beyond the scope of this video. So hopefully you've already got your PTT working with Direwolf, or you may have to kind of poke around on YouTube and figure out how to make it work with your radio. If you're using a Signal Link, you don't have to worry about this since the Signal Link has Vox built into it. All right, and that's the last change we need inside of Direwolf. So Control X to get out, Y and Enter gets us out of it. All right, so that should be everything that we need to get this running this morning. So we're going to clear this screen, and then I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab. You're going to need a couple of them open to get this working. Now, one last thing to check before we get going. Let's do pat and configure. And right here under AX25, you want to make sure your port is left at the default. This is what comes installed with the package, but if you've changed it for some reason, we need to change this back and make sure that it's WL2K. All right, so let's go ahead and start Direwolf with sudo direwolf-p. And here you should not see any red warnings. You should only see the green line here, and then it's ready to accept a connection. So let's go over to a new tab inside of the terminal, and let's type sudo kissattach /tmp /kisstnc space WL2K. And you should get this here where it says that the AX25 port WL2K has been bound to device AX0. The last thing we need to do is go ahead and start pat with pat HTTP. And you'll see that it's ready to accept a connection. All right, so you'll open up a web browser. And if you're on your local machine, you can do 127.0.0.1:8080 unless you change the default port in your pat configure file. In that case, you would have to change the port number here to match what you used in your pat configure file. Let's go ahead and hit return. And it says it wants to send us some notifications. We want to say allow. And let's go ahead and maximize that screen. All right, so let's try our new connection. We'll say action, connect. And right here under the transport, we want to choose our new AX25. And I'm going to connect to my own station here, my own gateway. So KM4ACK-10. And let's click that connect button. All right, so now that we're inside of Pat, let's go ahead and click Action and Connect and choose the new AX25 transport right here. And then the target call sign. So in this case, I'm going to connect to my own gateway. So KM4ACK-10. And we'll go ahead and click the connect button. Alright, and it may have been a little hard to see on the screen here what was scrolling by, but if we look back in the terminal window, it shows that our connection was completed. So it sends out, the gateway sends out this message here, and then goes ahead and goes through its connection and sends any email that needs to be sent or retrieves any that needs to be retrieved and then disconnects. All right, guys, I hope this gets you up and running with your 2-meter packet station for Winlink. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we will see you guys on the next video. 7-3.